What if I told you that Joe Goldberg, the charming yet chilling anti-hero of Netflix's You, could have had a fate even more shocking than what we saw on screen? Imagine a world where Joe doesn't face justice, doesn't go to trial, and simply slips away, his crimes left unresolved. Well, that's not just a fan theory, it's the alternative ending crafted by Caroline Kepnes, the original author, in her final novel. Today, we're diving deep into the ending Netflix didn't use, exploring how it compares to the show's finale, and uncovering the wild twists and unresolved questions that might just change how you see Joe forever. Let's rewind for a moment. In the Netflix series, Joe's journey ends with a sense of reckoning. He's finally cornered, Mooney's bookstore burns to the ground with him inside, and he's forced to confront the darkness he's spent years running from. But what if I told you that in the books, things play out very differently? In For You and Only You, the fourth and final novel, Joe is not a man on the run, he's a man chasing a new dream. He's traded in his old obsessions for a new one, becoming a celebrated author. Joe lands a prestigious writing fellowship at Harvard, a place he's always fantasized about. But instead of finding inspiration, he finds himself surrounded by privileged, talentless writers who bought their way in, a subtle echo of his outsider status in Season 4's London elite. Here's where things get interesting. Among the Harvard egos, Joe meets Wonder Parish, a fellow writer from a humble background who shares his passion for literature. She becomes his new fixation, his you. But unlike Beck or Love, Wonder isn't drawn in by Joe's charm for long. Their connection is genuine at first, but as Joe's possessive tendencies resurface, Wonder begins to see through his facade. Curiosity gap: will Wonder be the first to escape Joe's cycle, or will she become another victim? But Wonder isn't the only woman who changes Joe's path. Enter Sarah Beth, another aspiring writer at Harvard. She's sharp, suspicious, and soon starts connecting the dots between Joe and a true crime podcast about an unsolved murder. As Sarah Beth grows more wary, Joe's paranoia kicks in. He breaks into her writing space, only to trigger a trap Sarah Beth catches him red-handed. In a moment of desperation, Joe confesses to a string of murders, all of it recorded on tape. Now, Sarah Beth holds all the power. She could go to the police, but instead, she uses Joe's confessions as inspiration for her own crime writing. The two form a twisted alliance, a partnership built on mutual secrets and blackmail. But here's the next curiosity gap: with Sarah Beth holding evidence that could destroy him, is Joe truly free, or is he living on borrowed time? As Joe's relationship with Wonder unravels, she ultimately rejects him after seeing his true nature. He's left more isolated than ever. Unlike his past obsessions, Joe lets Wonder go. No dramatic confrontation, no final act of violence, just a slow, painful realization that he can't control her. This is a major departure from the show, where Joe's love stories almost always end in bloodshed. But does this new path mean Joe's finally changing, or is it just a brief pause before his next spiral? The novel's ending leaves us with the biggest mystery of all. With Sarah Beth in possession of the damning tapes, we're left to wonder, will Joe kill her to protect his secrets, or will Sarah Beth turn him in, finally ending his reign of terror? The book never gives us a clear answer. Instead, it closes on a note of ambiguity. Joe is neither punished nor redeemed, his fate left entirely up to the reader's imagination. Is this a clever commentary on the nature of evil, or a missed opportunity for true closure? Now, let's compare this to the Netflix ending. On screen, Joe is finally forced to face the consequences of his actions. He's caught, punished, and symbolically destroyed along with Mooney's. The show doesn't give us a neat, happy ending, but at least there's a sense of justice, a final reckoning for all the lives Joe has ruined. In the books, by contrast, Joe slips through the cracks, his crimes unresolved, his story unfinished. Which is better? That's the debate raging among fans. Personally, I find the show's ending more satisfying. Watching Joe finally pay for his sins, even if it's not as dramatic as some hoped, feels like the closure the story and the audience deserves. The novel's ambiguity is thought-provoking, but it risks leaving readers feeling just as shortchanged as the characters Joe leaves behind. Still, the open-ended nature of the book does one thing brilliantly: it keeps Joe's shadow lingering, making us question whether true evil ever really goes away. So, which ending do you prefer? Do you like the ambiguity of the novel, or the finality of the show? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear your take. And if you're hungry for even more twists, check out my video where I craft my own ending for Joe Goldberg, one that ties up every loose end. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown, review, or deep dive into your favorite shows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where the story is never really over.